Greetings, you tubulons and tubulators. It's February 25th, and it's 55 degrees outside, and the muskrat is in the air, and somebody's been working under it today. So let's go underside and see what we found. Pardon me. It takes a while. It takes longer for me to get up, but we're here laying on the wonderful peak carpet, and here is underside of the earth. I took all the mains off, and I pulled one rod bearing. I must say, the darn rod bearing bolts had to be torqued at about 80 pounds because I couldn't get them off with a wrench. I had to double wrench them, excuse me, and get them off. But there's the crankshaft. And all of its scratched up beauty. It has lines in it. I put the fourth main bearing on to, excuse me, stuff dripping in your mouth. Put the number 4 main bearing back in it to help hold the cranky wanky back in the ingy wingy. So what I have found is this could be the source of the thump, 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 thump. I'm going to pull the rest of the rods off, starting with the back ones, because that's where the oil, the last part of the oil, gets there. It oils from the front to the back. This engine does. So I'll get me a thing, and while I'm spinning it around, I'll check the cylinder walls, and I'll check as much as I can, I'll check the skirts. But that's what we found so far. I'll go inside and take y'all with me, and we'll look at the bearings. Shall we? Shall we? Yes, we shall. Old man. Turn this off. Let's go in here where danger happens. Now, I flushed out the oil pan, and I found one foreign thing in it. Where are you, foreign thing? It was a little foreign thing, but evidently it's went foreign somewhere else. So I inspected the oil pump and checked the pattern here, which is bad. It's had, something's went through this engine. And here's the rod bearing. It has an extra oil groove in the bearing, and I'm sure it's in the top bearing. Hopefully it's in the top bearing. Maybe that's what's happened. But here's number 1 bearing. It shows trash and a little bit of copper in it. Sorry if I can get you on camera. Number 2, like I said, it goes from the front to the back on their oil things. Number 2 is very shiny. Now that's bad. That's fixing to get to the Babbitt, where it really does bad stuff on your engine. Number 3, of course, the thrust bearings, number 3. Get in there, Larry. Number 3 is shiny and beautiful and wore out, slap dab wore out. Number 4 shows about the same in the saddle, not so much on the edges. And that's what I found. That's what I found. Now, you wanna, before you order the bearings, you want to pull every one, because I've had some small block Chevrolets have one 20,000ths bearing and the rest of them 10,000ths. But the brand is a ACL brand, and these are 20,000ths. So, and the rod bearing checked, at least that one did, checked 10,000ths. So, if this was a customer's rig, there ain't nothing I would do but take it apart, put cam bearings, rod bearings, main bearings, a new crank, you know, the whole schmear. But since this is me, and I'm not as discerning, I'm going to order a set of 20,000 main bearings and some 10,000 rod bearings made by the same company. Yep, them's 10. They're 10s. 10,000 rod bearings after I check them all. And then I'll get my plastic gauge out and I'll see how much clearance is still on them. So the only thing I found in the oil pump, in the oil pan, was a weird little spring thing that had come off a valve guide seal. And it took me a few minutes to sit down and figure out what it is, because it was just a little tiny piece of spring. And it must have come off the valve stem seal. But it was in the oil pan, and it didn't cause this mess. This is lack of oil pressure. When I got this car, the oil filter weighed about 2 pounds. And it didn't have any oil pressure in it. But it didn't have any, none of the gauges were hooked up anyway. So I no telling how long it's been drove. I don't know where I put that. Don't know how long it's been drove without oil pressure. Well, I had to have some because the lifters wasn't rattling. But I changed the oil in it, and this is what the oil looks like. The oil looks real goobery to me. It looks contaminated with something. And this is fresh oil. This is 10W30. So that's the only worry. I can do the rest, as long as the oil's not being contaminated from something like a head gasket or something like that. But it wasn't white like a head gasket, but it was just not slick. So that's what I found on the old Mustang engine. I'll get on the horn, as they say in Scandinavia, and I'll finish my dissemination, and then I'll get some bearings coming, and we'll bearing it up real good, and I'll check the rest of the engine from here, the timing chain is not bad. It's got a little bit of slack because you start a car up with a tight timing chain, and then when you look at it again, it's loose on that one side, the side that isn't under pressure. There's always a slack side. So I'm not worried about the timing chain. It looks like a real nice new one. And all this stuff looks halfway decent as far as being clean inside. And you know, the oil pump was good and clean, even if it didn't work. So we're going to fix that with a milling oil pump. Standard, no, not a high volume, high pressure, high colonic, just a good standard Bomba de Ascentie, made in USA milling oil pump. And I'll get the best bearings I can get. So we'll give it a chance. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll put the pan back on it, push it outside, and it'll be Harold time. Let the Mustang sit for a while. So there's only so much time I'm dedicating for this. Would be cool to have a car to drive around. But anyway, dear Harold, I'm going to say, as soon as I get the viewfinder going the right way, there you are. How you been? What's going on? Hey, hi, woohoo, howdy. So, that's the name of that tune. It could be a lot worse, but it could be a lot better. And, just want to say I don't like chrome oil pans. If you've seen that chrome oil pan, don't like chrome oil pans. But it's on there and I don't have an extra anymore. So, I love y'all, and y'all take care, and thank you for watching me and my idiocy. So, if y'all think of something, let me know before I call the parts guru and guru me some parts coming, probably Monday or Tuesday. And they'll be here Thursday or Friday. And we're supposed to have another round of storms and stuff, so I'll have to grease up this, what's open here, and grease it up good so it don't get any worse. Okay, love y'all. Bye.